Still haven't changed that intro.
It needs to go, dude.
It needs to go. Well, welcome everybody to Flicks on Tap.
Welcome. I've been looking forward to this all day. I really wanted some beer today, and we're getting to it. Dude, I'm excited.
You're just staring into space like you
I
look
need
like
the beer.
I need beer.
I need the
beer now.
It needs to happen.
Well, let's do it. Let's crack into it. What are we working with today?
So today we're starting off light. We're going with a hazy pale ale called Drumroll from Odell Brewing Company out of Colorado, Fort Collins, Colorado to be exact. And I'm just looking forward to trying a hazy from Colorado. Colorado has some decent beers. The Great American Beer Festival is from Colorado, or is in Colorado.
That's cool.
So
I did not know
let's
that.
crack into these.
That's the first time I think we remember to do that in a while.
Good simultaneous cracking.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Unleash
pouring.
the Kraken.
So this came in a mix pack from this brewing company. So we'll try another couple of their beers in future episodes. But right off the bat, hazy as can be.
In the coffee world, there's this thing where you tap the cup to get the bubbles out when you get foam. Is that everything in beer? Do you ever try?
I've never heard of that. That's interesting.
I mean, I don't think you can because it's stem.
On this glass, yeah.
You just like break it. But glass in general, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Nice head. Both of us got a pretty decent head on this pour. The color is a nice dark.
did you say most of us got a decent?
Both of us.
Oh, both
I
of
think.
us.
I hope I didn't say most.
Is there someone else's? Oh,
Someone's
shoot.
sitting here with us, Evan. You just can't see him.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, buddy. Let's try it out. I hate the anticlimactic no
We always
clink.
feel like it's gonna get
It's-
split.
yeah, let's hit it.
We never get there.
Nothing special, but not bad at all. Easy
re-
sipper, especially clocking in at 5.3%.
Yeah, it's refreshing too.
Yeah, it's a refreshing beer. It's a hazy.
It kind of parallels the color that you see in the mountains.
Yeah, it's the can art is nice and vivid, not
Yeah.
livid.
It has kind of like a spring turns fall kind of.
It does, and so that's nice because we're hitting spring right now, about to be in summer. So this is a good easy sipper for like nights like this. Exactly, just chilling, drinking some beer. And like I said, it came with a bunch of other beers, so you can pair it nicely with some heavier ones, which is a sneak peek into what we're getting into later. Some heavier ones, not from the same brewing company, but anyways, yeah, it's enjoyable. It's good. Nothing special.
Well, I haven't done this well. I'll read the blurb.
Do it, dude.
A drum roll fills you with anticipation, much like the notes in this hazy pale ale. Each year, we select the rock star hops of the harvest to craft this bold, juicy, tropically hop-forward brew, drumming up a citrus-inspired rhythm for what's to come. I like that.
Nice. You know what?
Cool.
I think we really should talk about before we get into our movie, which is one of my favorite movies. We should talk about the Great Beer Festival, the Great Vegas Beer Festival.
Oh yeah, so we just did that in downtown Las Vegas.
That was a good time. I recommend anyone to go to it if they're in the area. But there are people from out of town who we talked to who came just specifically for that, right?
Yeah, we met a couple like who drove like 4 hours to get here.
For that specifically.
Like
I thought it was a great time. I had a blast.
it was really fun. There was probably easily 50 vendors there.
They said like 300, but there was not 300.
Oh, I don't know about 300.
No, definitely not. That's what it said on the website. Or I don't know if it was 300 beers or 300 vendors. But anyways, the number 300 was thrown out somewhere, and that was not accurate.
Because I would say 100 at most, but I feel like 50.
50s even might be pushing it. But no, it was a good turnout. There was awesome breweries. There was stuff that I really enjoyed. There's a lot of good beers to choose from. Lines got occasionally long, but if you were sipping on something in between, it went by at a good pace. Like if you were really intent on like getting drunk, you could have easily done it. I was trying to chill through the night. I know you were too, but still felt it. Like you got a good amount of beer for this little sample taste. So you just get a cup when you walk in, and you go to whatever brewery you want to go to, and they will pour you a sample of whatever beers they have available, and you just tell them. You get like a good little serving, and you sip on that as you wait in the line for the next one. There was karaoke there, which Evan is angry about.
I'm very disappointed. That's my only complaint of that night is the karaoke people who were facilitating it.
The facilitators.
They were doing
the people doing the karaoke were sick.
people doing the karaoke. Yeah, people who were singing karaoke were amazing. But the person who was running the show with karaoke in terms of facilitating
Dropped the ball.
She kept telling me like every 20 minutes she'd say, "Oh, you're only three people ahead of you," and then you're up.
And then there's like 75 people who went. And
Yeah.
he never got called.
It's so,
And we hung out in that tent and like intentionally trying to trying to get in there. But I like that tent because Carl Strauss was in there.
Yeah.
Got a good amount of Aurora Hopialis. If you know what Aurora Hopialis is as a beer lover, it's a great beer.
Very good beer. And Atomic Duck was there. Oh, sorry.
That's Abel Baker.
Excuse me. That's Abel Baker. That's what I meant to say. Abel Baker was in there.
A lot of good breweries. Juxta Nomad, shout out to him. Maybe we can get him on the show eventually. His beer that he tapped at 5 p.m., we were waiting for it all afternoon. So we ran over there. We got it. I think it was called Grandma's Pastry or Grandma's... It was Grandma's something, but it was a stout. I think it was like 15.7%, something like that, right? Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic beer.
Very high.
People who don't enjoy stouts normally were telling me they really liked it. Like our good buddy was Sam. Like he doesn't drink heavy beers at all, and he loved that beer.
Yeah, which is to no surprise.
It's a good
Judge
beer.
Snowmad does his thing.
And he was there himself, pouring the beers, so that's cool to see someone like that doing their own thing.
Yeah, he was handing out free sunglasses too, which is really cool. He's a cool dude. Very nice guy.
Like I said, hopefully we'll get him on here one day.
Yeah, that'd
talk
be cool.
a little bit more of the behind the scenes of beer because we've always talked about doing that and it just hasn't happened yet because we don't know what we're talking about when it comes to that.
Yeah, that's true. So it's time to reel in the experts. But yeah, he's a cool dude. He seems like a good guy. He seems like he would be the kind of guy who could really flow on a podcast too.
Yeah, I feel like it because he definitely knows his craft. After we've tried a couple of the beers on here before, we tried that one that was just freshly tapped that night.
Yeah,
fantastic beers. Besides that one, what do you think you enjoyed the most there that night?
Great question. I really enjoyed the Stone.
I did too. I have a bunch of them in the fridge, and I went out and bought them the next day.
Yeah,
because it wasn't anything special. It was just like their Stone mix pack that you can get at any store. I got them at Target, but they were good. They were refreshing because it was a little bit warm that day. I mean, it's weird. The weather here is so strange right now, but that day was a little warm. We were heating up, and those. I think we got the delicious hazy IPA, which was super refreshing.
Something I wish I did, and I'm going to throw this question back at you so you can tell me the same question, or answer the same question. But something I wish I did was pay more attention to like not necessarily write everything down, but like at least write a little note about each thing I drank. So
I wish I did too,
because I couldn't remember quite everything.
If we return next year, I'll definitely do that because I lost track. I wanted to keep track of what I drank, how much I drank, and everything, and I just did not do that. There's a dude walking around. He had tally marks on his shirt. I think that was like a little nod to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia because they did an episode where they're like drinking beers and keeping tallies on their shirt.
Oh, that's cool.
So I saw a dude who did that. That was funny.
Was it a Sharpie or something? Like,
yeah, just marker.
That's funny.
It was like beers I've drank, and he had a bunch of tally marks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite beer?
Oh, man. I'm trying to think back to everything we tried. The Stone was fantastic, but that's just like such a given. I hate to give that boring answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very enjoyable. It was very light. It hit the spot for the event we were at. It was like perfect. It was like 7.2% or something. So it wasn't like a heavy hitter. Trying to think. We had Melvin there as well, which is another beer that I really enjoy that I get all the time. If it's available. And besides that, the Juxta Nomad was top tier beer.
Yeah. Dude, he really lived up to that like hype.
Yeah, he hyped it up. He was like, nah, I'm not opening this till 5 o'clock. Because I walked up to him at probably like 2:30. And I was like, I want that grandma's one. And he was like, not till 5.
No.
It was cool though. He had a bunch of people there. Like at one point he had media taking photos of him.
Yeah. Yeah. He seems to be connected with everybody in the beer world. Just because
he kind of has to be, I think, because of how he runs his business, where it's like he goes from brewery to brewery doing his thing. I ended up getting an Astronomy Ale Works beer from him the first time. I can't remember what he called it, but Astronomy Ale Works was one of our like fans on our Instagram at first, and they're gone now, unfortunately.
That's sad. Yeah, R.I.P. man. They were super supportive and
always were. They were great people. We went once, I think. Did you go to that one with us?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was the night we got those Craft House shirts. Oh yeah, and then everyone kept asking us if we were Craft House employees because we were in Craft House shirts.
Oh,
the first tent we hit up was the Craft House tent too.
Yeah, we're like the guy.
Actually, you know what? That Craft House Cold IPA might have been my favorite. I totally forgot because it was the first one. That thing was good. That was a good, refreshing beer too. I like Cold IPA as a style too. It's interesting.
Okay.
You don't see too many of them out there either, so it's nice when you get one.
I still don't understand the premise behind Cold IPA.
It's just like in flavor wise, it's just so similar to like a hazy, but sometimes you get a little bit more hoppiness. It's all about the brewing process for it. I listened to a whole podcast about how they make it one time, and it didn't mean anything to me. So
okay, it was very good.
It was a good beer though. Anyways. From good beer to good movies, right?
This is exactly, man. Let's talk about it.
What did you think? That's one of my favorite movies. I've watched it a million times.
Yeah.
I know, like for me, it's a nostalgia thing, so I understand people not liking it. It doesn't have fantastic reviews, but it's an important movie in cinema. We are talking about A Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, Fistful of Dollars. So we watched this movie, not too long ago. It was the last movie we watched. It was for me, what I loved about it was like the set design and set choice. Like you were telling me they filmed it in Spain
And Rome as well.
Yeah.
So that's where most spaghetti westerns were filmed. But that's why I like spaghetti westerns the most.
Yeah.
The set feels so raw. It feels real. I always felt like the American westerns of the 50s, the John Wayne ones, felt very cartoonish, very colorful, very vivid. But what you got to consider about the West is it was called the Wild West. It was like a raw, rugged place, right? Like you hear about trappers and those stories of like people just getting shot in saloons and stuff. And then I feel like that image was not well portrayed in America, which is why this movie is so important, because this movie is the first one of a trilogy starring Clint Eastwood, which kind of pioneered the movement of European westerns or spaghetti westerns, mostly made in Italy, but Spain as well and all that. But anyways, this movie was credited with starting that movement, making a bunch of these movies more popular. We got a bunch of stuff after, from like Django to not the Quentin Tarantino Django, the original Django from Sergio Corbucci. We got Once Upon a Time in the West after this. We got The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
We got For a Few Dollars More. We got Duck You Sucker or Fistful of Dynamite. Tons of great Italian movies that a lot of people don't know about, that if you like westerns, you should check out, because I just feel like they have more, not necessarily realism, but they're grittier. They're way grittier than the American westerns, which I felt were very commercial pieces. And if you've heard me talk about movies before, that is my issue with a lot of current movies, is they're too commercial. And so that's why I'm so attracted to these Italian westerns. They're just not commercial. A lot of bad stuff's happening. They're violent. I mean, there's a scene where in this one where like half the town's burning down and there's like people in the building and they're laughing.
Yeah.
But anyways, what did you think about it for someone who'd never seen it before?
Well, I've always been a big fan of Clint Eastwood, and I saw Clint Eastwood, most of his films being older, like Gran Torino and $1 Million Baby, like all these films. He's older. He's like late 70s, 80s.
It's funny that's your impression. I don't mean to cut you off, but
no,
because my impression is these movies. I grew up on these ones. Yeah. So it's so funny to see someone who came in with the exact opposite impression of this actor.
Well, when I was a kid, I had my dad had a toy store, and we had a little advertisement in the Carmel magazine.
That's
and it
awesome.
was me sitting in a toy car, but it was
I've seen the picture.
Yeah,
I love that picture, dude.
But I got to be on the same page as, it was really a feature on him because he was mayor at the time.
Mayor, yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
That's so cool.
But there were little advertisements around, and we got the opportunity to be plugged in there. But
that's awesome.
But I always was fascinated by him at that time, and that was 20 years ago, and he was still older at that time, considered older.
He's close to 100.
Yeah, it's crazy. But all I have to say, to see what gave him the breaking grounds was really cool. That was really the biggest reason I wanted to watch it, and I was intrigued. But also we talked about how movies, like you said, Django Unchained, you talk about Roadhouse, how you have those thematic elements of
it's a western.
A western.
It is a western. It's
cool.
It's a Clint Eastwood-esque character. So in this trilogy, the trilogy is called the Dollars Trilogy. Starts off with A Fistful of Dollars, goes to For a Few Dollars More, and then The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is looked at as a prequel to the other two. But these movies are all Clint Eastwood's character as a loner, or a lone star type character, going into these towns and protecting people or scamming people, etc. And if you watch the new Roadhouse movie, that's what Jake Gyllenhaal's character Dalton does. He goes into this town, protects the town people, essentially.
Equalizer with Denzel Washington has also got those western elements like that.
So many movies do, and I think I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but I told you we watched The Great Train Robbery a little while ago. You remember that, the silent western?
Oh yeah,
one of the first movies of all time, if not the first movie. There's contention just due to history records and stuff, but it's a western. The first movie ever is a western.
What a crazy trip, man.
Westerns it's my favorite genre, apart from gangster mob films. But the western is important in cinema history. It really is. Star Wars is technically a space western. It just has all the thematic elements of a Western. It's just without Westerns, who knows what we'd have. And I don't know. There's probably, this is just something I just came up with right now on the spot. It probably has something to do with the fact that Hollywood is in the American West. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just that's the heritage of the place in which movies became so popular.
That's interesting.
I just thought of that. I don't know if there's anything to it.
I mean, it sounds legit. You say you know, with the context of what we're saying, it makes sense. But yeah, man, it was a really good movie. It makes you definitely want to watch the.
That's not even the best one of the trilogy.
That's what I was saying. That it makes me want to watch.
I just
the Bad and Ugly for sure.
I was like, if we're gonna watch the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly eventually, which we have to, because that has a near perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes, if I'm correct. And this one and this one has nowhere near that. But it's just an introduction to the genre. It's an introduction to the style.
Yeah.
Because this is another thing too. If you've ever seen the movie, or if you're interested in watching the movie, there's so many random characters who are dubbed because the filming was done in Spain and Italy. The actors came from America. They came from Spain. They came from Italy, probably even France, just surrounding countries, right? So as they're shooting, these people are speaking their own languages and even dialects. And so depending on where the movie's released, certain characters are dubbed with the language of the region. Mm-hmm. And I can't imagine what it was like filming like that, like style of Tower of Babylon filming with everyone speaking a different language. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's insane. I can't imagine if you go to work and everyone's speaking a different language, and then like you have to piece together what they're saying later.
Yeah. Wow. And they're not making that much in this film either.
No. Well, the whole budget for the movie was $200,000.
That was a crazy fact because it's
Clint Eastwood. I think we looked it up while we were watching it. Clint Eastwood made I want to say $15,000 for the movie.
What would be a highly expensively made movie
back then?
Like, how much would it cost to make like one of the top tier
I wonder
movies?
what a John Wayne movie would have cost back then. Let's do
the same decade.
Similar, like within 10 years. The Searchers was 10 years prior about. So the Searchers budget, let's see. I'm curious. $3.75 million versus $200,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Huge difference.
That even today's, I mean, well,
today that's a low budget movie.
That is a low budget, you're right.
We were looking at some Marvel budgets at one point, and they were, I don't even know what to say about those movies.
That's just the idea of like raising or funding that much money. Anything over $1 million, it's hard to imagine. Sounds like a tractor out there. Speaking of Western, well, there's no tractor in this film, but
he can be a neo-Western. I like neo-Westerns a lot too. You ever seen that movie with Chris Pine? Hell or High Water.
Oh, I have not.
That's a good movie. It's a neo-Western. That's a good movie. Has a lot of the Western themes. Takes place in like a Western style city, and it's about these two brothers who are like bank robbers. Real cool.
Are they like in the 1800s?
No, modern day. That's what neo means.
Oh, neo means modern?
Modern, yeah.
Oh.
And they like have their getaway car they drive off in, and it's a good movie. I like that movie a lot.
I've always wondered what that meant. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was like, I was familiar with the term. So is that neo? Does neo fit in with other genres too? Like neo?
There's like neo noirs. There's neo. What's the big one? The Italian neo something. I can't remember. Neo realism. I don't know exactly where the term neo fits into the realism. I've always been kind of lost on what neo-realism means, but those movies are all really good. I enjoy them. The Italian really neo-realism.
Interesting.
I'm going to look that up, what that means actually, here live.
Right here now, you have it, folks. He's typing away.
So yeah, look, you type in neo-realism, it just comes up Italian neo-realism. Literary and cinematic movement flourishing after World War II, seeking to deal realistically with events leading up to the war and the social problems that were engendered during the period and afterwards. So yeah, those movies are really good too. They'll probably put you to sleep, put most people to sleep. They're very deep, and they're just like really thematically rich, but a lot doesn't really happen. You just got to like really pay attention, and like they're just deep movies, but they're slow, real slow.
Did you ever see Schindler's List?
I actually haven't seen that movie, which is like, I'm ashamed to say. I want to watch it because Steven Spielberg says that's his best movie.
Okay.
But my favorite Steven Spielberg is Jaws.
Mine's It. I mean, not It.
It?
Mine's E.T.
That's the wrong Steven, bro.
It's two letter words get me all the time. Mine's It.
It's the wrong Steven, dude.
Oh yes. Wait, what's the It director's name or writer?
Well, Stephen King wrote It. Yeah.
There you go, Stephen King.
Stephen King's a good writer.
I feel like he just whips up stories like it's no one's business. Like
He has too many books. Like he has no business having that many.
They made a short. It was like a novella feature that was on, or no, a novella turned into a Netflix movie. You remember that? Or they were the hedge one, where it's like you go into the hedge and you like age or something weird happens.
I do know he had that Castle Rock. Was that him on Hulu? That was like a mini series.
No, I don't know.
I think that was. He has too much going on, dude. I can't keep track of him.
But a lot of it's actually pretty good.
It is good stuff. The writing's great. There's a reason his name is so enduring in like in what do you call it, in pop culture.
And I'm pretty sure that The Shining is revered in terms of horror movies. Like that is.
I love that movie. Have you seen it?
Like, yeah,
that's a good movie. Jack Nicholson's performance phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's that movie has. There's so many little shout outs to that movie everywhere. Like we were at a bar recently. I forget which one it was now. And the wallpaper was The Shining's carpet. I think I pointed it out. It might not have been to you. It might have been to someone else.
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
It was the one we went to where we kind of went into that like little like conversation pit. What bar was that? With Sam and a couple other people. Our homie Greg was there. He was one of the first listeners of the podcast. Anyways, we'll move along. That's boring. But
we just lost all our listeners.
Anyways, the westerns. What do you think generally?
How
many have you seen?
I don't think I have seen that many. The old one. I mean, I personally prefer modern, like neo westerns. I think like The Equalizer.
Do you want them to take place in modern times?
Not necessarily a western setting, but I will personally choose like The Equalizer probably over The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
That's crazy to me, dude.
I don't know. I love seeing the modern technology. To me, makes a difference. Now,
okay, so maybe would you be willing to watch a western that takes place in the 1800s that was filmed today?
Yeah.
So something like I can't remember the name of it. It was a really good western that takes place today. It was a horror western. It was actually great. They like come across this tribe of natives that are cannibals. I can't remember what it was called. Bone Tomahawk.
Whoa.
Great movie.
Oh, really? I haven't
Great movie. It's a horror western. It's like real gory. But it's really good. I like that movie a lot.
I can't say I've seen enough modern neo westerns to say.
But that's just a western because it takes place back in the day.
Yeah, I hear you. I would give this a chance. I don't think I have actually watched one.
Yeah, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly though is the best western of all time in my opinion. Just the classic story, one of the best shot movies ever. It's gorgeous to watch, especially on like a nice TV. It's just such a beautiful movie.
Is that the last one of the series?
Yeah, so it's technically a prequel, but it's the last one they filmed, and it's just like you can tell that like the director learned so much by doing the first two. And it's just such a gorgeous movie. I love it. Like that movie is like, it's a masterpiece to look at. The scenery's beautiful, the landscapes. Because like you were talking about the setting with that you like, the setting in this one's just like even nicer. It's just great.
Is it a prequel to the first two?
Yeah. So like, and people just like make these assumptions up. These movies like technically they're a trilogy, but they technically have no like connecting factor except for Clint Eastwood being the main guy. And in each one of the movies, he has a different name. That's why it's the Man with No Name trilogy. Because like a random character just assigns his name to him. Like in the one we watched, that one like Undertaker dude who's building the coffins all the time, just start calling him Joe.
Oh yeah.
And then in the next one, I forget what they call him, like Manco or something like that. They call him some weird name in the next one.
The Man
Makes
with
no sense.
That's really cool.
And then in the last one, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, one of the characters just calls him Blondie the whole time because he's just like a white dude and the other dude's like a Mexican dude. Yeah. So there's no name. But yeah, anyway, so the reason they say it's a prequel is because he's like slowly collecting like clothing, I guess, in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and that's what he's wearing as his costume in the first two. But you see how he gets these pieces in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly as he goes through his adventure. Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah. See, it's like an unofficial prequel.
I like this new component or element that you're bringing up.
Yeah, so we will watch that one. We don't have to watch the one in between just because I think The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is so good. And the fact that you're not a huge fan of it, you don't have to watch it. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a standalone movie that's phenomenal. That was the first one I ever saw, even though it's not the first one of the prequel.
I would love to watch it because that's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a movie. That's a household name. Like you hear that movie and you're like, oh, everyone's heard of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially the one that made Clint Eastwood, I would say. Yeah, he's in these other two, but lower budget, scrappier movies that like nobody really paid attention to. And then there's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Everybody knows it.
How do you feel about Clint Eastwood's son?
Scott Eastwood, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in enough of stuff. I feel like a few years ago he was in a couple things that I watched and I thought he was decent. Like he just doesn't live up to Clint Eastwood for whatever reason. I don't know if that's just because of like the nostalgia factor. Because I don't like watching Clint Eastwood. He's not like anything that special, right? Would you say he's like a phenomenal actor?
Clint Eastwood?
Yeah, like not necessarily, right?
No, I just think it's a staple.
Yeah, and so I don't know. Like I feel like maybe he just came up at the right time and he was in the right place. Kind of like the whole thing that like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood touches on, where he's like a TV actor who was willing to go to Italy and star in these movies when other people weren't. And it just so happened to be that these movies took off. Like he might just be lucky. We don't ever know. Yeah. But the thing is, his other movies, like you were mentioning earlier, Gran Torino, fantastic.
Well, he directed.
Yeah, and that's true. He directs
American Sniper.
He directs a lot of good movies too. So you're right. Actually, I don't know. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing.
He might even be a better director than he is actor. I don't know.
I think he might be. I think you're right there.
You know what I mean?
Gran Torino's fantastic. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, he did.
It's high up there.
Did he direct The Mule?
The Mule, yeah.
That was a good movie.
I didn't watch it. He was so old. Playing like a drug mule is weird to me. The concept was weird.
It is weird, but he pulls it off. He pulls it off. I think he knows that, and he.
I'll have to check it out.
Kind of acclimates to it, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, we're done with the beer, dude. Let's cheers now. You always gotta get the.
There we go. That's the sound we want.
But yeah, it's good.
Going back to the idea of westerns, have you seen The Revenant? I feel like I've brought this up on the show before.
No, I have not.
I really like it. So I remember not liking it that much. Then I watched it again recently. Not all the way through. I just put it on, clipped it, was watching pieces as I was like doing laundry and stuff. It is a fantastically well done movie, and it just touches upon some themes that are really important, like with like native relations and stuff back then, which is really interesting to me.
Oh, is that the really one cool. With
Leo?
Where he gets attacked by the bear?
Yeah, that's the one. It happens like right towards the beginning of the movie. I forgot that happened so early on in the movie, but it's like a main point of the movie where he gets attacked and his like clan abandons him and he has to survive, which is a true story actually. Hugh Glass is the name of the main guy. Okay. He was an American trapper and fur trader, I believe.
Okay.
Is what his job was. Which to me, like those stories are so interesting. That's why I like westerns, because that's just a cool story. This dude got attacked by a bear and survived, and he's like a outdoorsman.
Yeah. Would you classify Killers of the Flower Moon as a western?
It is 100% a western.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, so it's not necessarily a neo-western just because of the fact that it's like early 20th century, but it's still definitely a western. It has like that whole western setting and the idea is very western. It's also a crime movie. It's a cool one. It's kind of like a transcendent movie that goes
like a hybrid almost.
Yeah, it just kind of crosses over these thresholds of different types of movies, which is really cool to me.
Yeah.
Good movie. Loved it.
Good. I like it. I love it.
There we go, dude.
I love it.
I need another beer.
Yeah. I'll have another, please. Didn't you say that Star Wars is technically a western?
Yeah, I just said that a little while ago.
Did you just say that on the podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I did actually.
Sorry, listeners. I've been messing up my words and kind of sleepy tonight. So
Evan's had a whole 5% beer.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be 5.3.
I'm gonna be transparent. I'm a little sleepy tonight, so I feel like I'm not as
5.3 on that.
I'm not quite as my sparks. Not all 4 cylinders are working. Is what I'm trying to say.
You're about to have like
I'm running
0 cylinders working when we take down this dump truck of the gods. Mega IPA.
Oh, so how cool is that? Mega IPA. I've never heard of Mega.
Me neither. First
is that
one.
a thing?
I have no clue, dude. This is an 11.7% beer. It's in a pint can, so it's a bigger one. I'm interested. To say the least.
I'm interested too, bro. It looks like this arm reminds me of the arm in SpongeBob.
Oh my god, yes.
SpongeBob
dude.
inflates his arm. You know what I'm talking about? He's like,
yes, dude.
He's super buff.
There's no smell coming out of the can, so let's pour him first. Right? No, it's pretty mild on the out of the can in terms of the scent.
Let's see.
Color is a very translucent orange, so it's not hazy in any sense.
I heard if your pee looks like this, you're doing a good job staying hydrated, right?
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The exact color you want your pee to look like.
Yeah. Okay, good. We're on the same. Then I'm there.
So let's cheers this one and try it out.
That's such a lame cheers. Okay. Whoa. It almost tastes like a malt.
It's rustic.
That tastes like a malt.
Is that a good descriptor?
Liquor, dude.
It's stronger than malt liquor, dude. Malt liquor tastes like nothing.
But it has a
I know what you're saying. It's very malty. It's not
That's
malt
what I
liquor,
mean.
but
That's
it's
what I
very I would say so. Like it's so high. I would say it's more like a barley wine than a beer. It's just very grainy tasting. Like I wouldn't even say there's much like hoppy notes to it. I'll have to take another sip in a sec, but there's a lot of hops on the art. It's a dump truck with a bunch of hops in the back of it. It's from Dust Bowl Brewing Company, which is out of where does it say on here? Turlock, California, which I am unfamiliar with.
When I lived in, it's close to Stockton where I lived.
Of course it is.
It's like 20 to 30 minutes
I'm not
away.
surprised, dude.
All right, let me read this.
Hit it.
Okay, the godly hops in this mega IPA aren't taking a back seat. Oh, well, there's an exclamation mark. They aren't taking a back seat. They allow you to take the wheel and drive this monster to your taste buds. Expect a big impact from Apollo, Zeus, Citra, Simcoe. I don't know who that one is. Simcoe?
That's just a hop variety.
Oh.
I know they put all the names of the Greek gods and then Simcoe. Nice. But yeah, it's a strong one in terms of the taste.
Ooh. It's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. It's really good, actually.
It almost has like a chocolatey note.
That's like that real grainy thing I'm talking about. You're right about the malt. It's very malty. Like I said, I'm not picking up a lot of hops though. It doesn't have that bitterness that the hops have. It has bitterness from like another factor.
Does it disappoint you?
No, I was like it has that. Okay, so sometimes when you get higher in the alcohol, it has like that medicinal taste. That's kind of what I'm picking up with. It's like a sweetness that's not from fruit, if you get what I mean.
I am picking up what you put.
It's like a richness out of like kind of what you get out of like yeast. It's a very yeasty beer.
Yeah.
I feel like we're butchering this description, but I mean, it's a good beer and we're probably going to be pretty like blasted after it.
This is where the party starts. You know what I'm saying? Here you go.
I had a friend of the podcast tell me we should describe the the cost. We should like analyze the cost of a beer. And so like if you're trying to drink just one beer, he was saying, like as opposed to like a bunch, like what should you buy? If you're just trying to drink one beer and feel good, just get this. Cause you're gonna feel it. Like I can taste the alcohol almost in the beer, which is kind of rare with a beer. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like a heavy hitter, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost 12%. Like I said, I think at this point it's considered like more of a barley wine.
Okay. How much is a wine? 13%?
Yeah, usually. I think things can be classified as wine at a lower percentage as well. I'm not sure what exactly constitutes wine.
But is barley wine just like is it like a beer?
Let's find the
wine?
exact definition.
I've never heard of that. Yeah.
You never heard of barley wine? So
No.
Sierra Nevada makes a really good one called Bigfoot something. So a barley wine is a strong ale from 6 to 12% by volume. So if that's the only definition of it, this is a barley wine.
It's very vague.
Yeah, it is very big. So it's 6 to 12% alcohol, 50 to 120 IBUs.
I feel like Clint Eastwood would drink this type of beer.
Yeah.
I think he's more of a strong...
You think he's a strong ale guy?
Strong ale or glass
Strong
of
ale.
whiskey. Glass of whiskey with a cigar kind of guy.
Yeah, that seems very
Oh,
accurate.
I can go for a cigar right now.
A cigar sounds good.
I feel like a
I haven't
cigar
had
with
one in
this
years.
would be good. Same. I've only had one.
I've only ever had one?
I've only
I've
ever
had a
had
couple.
one. But I appreciate the yeah. I appreciate the aesthetic and the feel and I'm sure there's taste you get from the cigar.
Yeah, there
right?
is. There's a lot to appreciate, just like there is with anything in that category, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, this is definitely a sophisticated tasting beer. Like I say that probably because you said the word wine. That's
I knew that's why your brain is just going to that. But no, it's it matches this glass perfectly.
Makes me more appreciate it makes me appreciate the glass. Yeah.
It's and when I'm like trying to describe this beer, I can't come up with much. It's not very complex, but it's very good.
I'll tell you what, man, we got some bubbles coming up though.
It's very carbonated, that's for sure.
Carbonation.
It has a good amount of fizz.
What's the right amount of fizz though? Huh?
Yeah, I think that just depends on you because sometimes I really enjoy a hazy that's like very not fizzy. We've had this discussion on here before, I believe, where sometimes you get those hazies that are just very thick and juicy. And this is like the exact opposite of that.
Yeah. I like
very carbonated, loose mouthfeel on this one.
The lacing's pretty good.
Yeah, I can see that on yours coming through. I just keep filling it, so it's good.
So what is okay? What's a movie you are really looking forward to watching that you have not seen yet?
Oh man, that's a hard one to answer. What is? You know what? There's that Kevin Costner movie that's coming out. That's a Western, actually.
Oh.
That should be interesting because
Does he only do Westerns?
no, that's what's weird. Like, yeah, he does a lot of them, but no. He quit Yellowstone to do it, so it should be pretty good because he was getting a lot of critical acclaim for that. So we'll see how this way. It's like a 2-part movie too, I think, which is like kind of weird for them to announce it right off the bat. I think like when I think of a movie that's 2 parts that was like announced that way, I just think of Kill Bill.
It's crazy to think about, like, hey, you're signing on for a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
A 2-movie
going
contract.
back to the Marvel movies, even though
Those are all contracts.
but you're like in it, like you.
Yeah, because you're signing on to be like a random character in so many movies too. Think about how many movies random characters like Ant-Man appear in.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Dude, we should watch Kill Bill. That's a Western too, technically. You know that.
Yeah.
Western.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, it's technically a Western. So before Quentin Tarantino took off and made a bunch of Westerns, that was like his like, it's a samurai movie mixed with a spaghetti Western. Because those are like his 2 favorite styles, I guess. And bringing that up, the one we just watched, the namesake of this episode, A Fistful of Dollars, is actually a remake of a samurai movie from Japan, Yojimbo by Akira Kurosawa.
That's crazy.
And they actually got sued. The Fistful of Dollars production company or something, they got sued by the Japanese company, and they lost.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had so it was like a remake, and I guess they didn't have permission to do it or something.
I wonder how much did they lose, because if you didn't make that much off the movie.
They could not have made that much, no.
So
I know that United Artists distributed it in America, which is a pretty decent big company back then. So they might have made a good amount of money here after the fact. But like I said, it was a low budget movie. Those don't tend to do insane numbers.
I just wonder how much it, like, because Good, the Bad, the Ugly, I almost feel like it rides on the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
At this point, probably. And I know that because they were made abroad, they released later here. So there might have been some hype built up around them at that point. But once again, it's like the late 60s, early 70s. So how much word of mouth could there really have been back then without social media and stuff? I really don't know.
Yeah.
I'm being speculative here in saying all that.
Going into foreign films, though, for a second, I feel like it really, I just would never explore foreign films, and there are so many good films out there.
There's a lot of good
Just
foreign
made.
films that I really enjoy.
So, yeah, what's one that you like?
Mafioso is so good. It's an Italian one. I like a lot of French films. Le Samurai is a French film that I really enjoy. That I feel like you would like too, just because it's kind of like, it's a little faster paced. It's about this guy he's an assassin and hitman. He does a hit, and then the rest of the movie is him like trying to get away from the cops and like this dude's associates and stuff. It's a good movie. Not much dialogue too, so it's not hard to follow, because that's a big turnoff for a lot of people, is like following these foreign movies, because the dialogue either is dubbed and it sucks, or it's subtitled and it's like hard to keep up with. But no, that's a good one.
That's a good. I can't think of any names right now, but I know that there are some good ones.
We just watched Anatomy of a Fall, dude. That's a good one.
That was not a good one. Yeah.
I don't know why people liked it. I can't get over that. I'm very upset about that stuff.
Anatomy of a Fail.
That's a good way to put it, dude.
No, apparently it wasn't a fail, because it won.
It won something. I think
Something,
screenplay, I believe. But
That's a big win.
that is a big win, actually. I'm just not a fan of it. I just was bored by it.
Oh, can I tell people about your Western?
I guess so, dude.
I forgot the name, though. What's the name of it?
No Man's Land. Dude.
No Man's Land. That's right. So Giancarlo, like I brought this up before, and he always downplays himself, but he's somebody who went to film school for a bit. He's studied film. He's done it by making he has quite a few videos out on YouTube that he's made, but this one called No Man's Land.
It's my favorite one I've made.
Really good, yeah. And I've heard you express that before, and rightfully so. It's a really good, entertaining short film. It's like what, 5 minutes?
7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
But I say that because it's easy to watch. Like, it's not like one that you're like, oh my gosh, it's taking forever. Like,
super digestible. It's just like a quick storyline that you just fly through.
Yeah. But you did some nods to some movies I'm not going to say. I think it's fun to experience it yourself, but there are things to watch. Like, I've watched it a few times. Every time I watch it, there's something new, little nuance that I do notice. So anyways, you should be proud of yourself for that, man. Because we're sitting here talking about a film, we're a film podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's worth bringing up your love and ability to do it, so.
I like doing it, dude. It's fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's my favorite genre. So it just is my favorite one to make.
So
It's
how
fun.
does so knowing it's your favorite genre, how does Good, the Bad, and the Ugly stand compared to Godfather?
It's right there under it, as like just because Godfather is like a near perfect movie in general. But I think my top 5 is like Mean Streets, Goodfellas, Godfather, Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just such a good movie.
That's
All those.
I feel like if you were to have a movie theater like in your house one day, you should have those posters up.
So I want the Italian poster for the Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Okay.
I used to have it as like my background on my iPad and stuff.
That's cool.
Just the original Italian poster is super cool, and the way they used to do those posters back in like the late 60s, early 70s, they look really cool. They're like almost painted.
Yeah.
The artwork is really nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, I do want to have like a poster collection if I ever have like a theater or like a movie room or whatever, like we've been talking about. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Just a couple awesome posters. There's some really good posters in general that, even though the movies aren't my favorite, I would like the poster because the poster itself is a piece of art. Like Once Upon a Time in America, which is a Sergio Leone movie, which is the director of the Dollars trilogy. So the movie we're talking about, that director wrote Once Upon a Time in America. The poster for that movie is just like the most gorgeous poster I've ever seen. It's like the Brooklyn Bridge in the background with like the main characters as children walking in the foreground. It's super cool. It's one of the best movie posters of all time, I think. I'll show it to you later.
Yeah, I'll check that out. That sounds cool. Yeah, that's the art. There's so many different pieces with movies, man. It's crazy to think about. Like beer too. Like you're
We always talk about the can art.
man.
We never talk about the movie posters, but that's a good point to bring up tonight.
Because
They're important. They're selling points.
There's selling points, and when you go to the
Just like the
movies
beers.
and you're walking in and you're seeing these posters saying "coming soon,"
It's such a lost art, though. Have you noticed how formulaic they are now?
no, what do you mean?
They're all so similar.
Really?
And like Marvel and Star Wars killed it off. Have you seen how similar the Marvel and Star Wars posters are?
I haven't really paid attention to it. But
All it is a bunch of characters with like purple and dark colors, and I'll show you later
like
some of the
in like
comparisons.
assembly position,
Yeah,
kind of deal.
It's all the exact same thing now. It sucks.
yeah. I mean, I think that
The
makes
posters
sense.
aren't as cool anymore, and I don't know what that's about.
I mean, I think it depends on the movies because you have
Name me a good poster from the past like 10 years. I'm like genuinely curious.
like Terminator has a really good one. All of their posters are pretty fun.
But those aren't like that recent. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's true. Well, that's the thing. I haven't really been to the movies that much in the past 10 years, so I
Because it
usually
sucks.
see them at the movies.
Because movies suck now.
Yeah.
I've been saying that.
I
I'm
think that's
hoping that we have this resurgence that I'm praying for because Marvel's kind of dying off doing bad in the box office. So I'm really hoping. Like, even movies that I really liked from like the 80s, like Indiana Jones, when they're getting these reboots, they lost so much money for the Dial of Destiny or whatever it is. These big commercial movies are just not hitting like they were 10 years ago. And so I'm just really hoping we get more Poor Things and stuff like that. Like,
That's such a weird thing. The psychology of movie watchers is like
it's like everyone got bored with these. I don't know if that's just me, but people just got bored with these movies.
I wonder if it has anything to do with like dopamine because like people are like, oh,
Too much dopamine nowadays.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's like the same thing with like eventually you get tired of scrolling through Instagram.
Oh,
you want to put your
100%.
phone down and you want to have a glass of tea. You want something smaller, lighter, easier, and like just. So I wonder, and I'm not saying that. I'm not comparing these like independent films to a glass of tea, but like something more wholesome.
No,
something
it really
more
is because
organic.
like when we going back to our episode about holdovers, that's why I liked it so much. It was more wholesome. It was more organic. It
Yeah.
was more realistic.
So I get okay. I guess that.
So
comparison
you're like
works.
completely right. Yeah, I think so.
You're doing something that's taking. You're not having to be. Like I don't know.
It just feels more genuine. It feels
There
like
you
so
go.
like going back to for some reason I want to compare that like holdovers to like Mikey and Nikki from the 70s where it's just like this like two dudes hanging out like having a night. There's a lot more to that movie if you've seen it, of course, but it's just more genuine like that type of movie as opposed to like Ant-Man, which I don't remember what even happens in that movie. But when I'm like watching the holdovers, I'm like, he has a bond with his student. There's that one character who has the whole issue with her son, and that just like it really hits you in the feels. Like there's just more humanity in those movies.
That's
like
a
even
really good way to put it.
like even
yeah.
Poor Things, it hits on some notes where it's like a super unrealistic movie, but the characters have a certain level of humanity to them. Like Emma Stone's character in that movie is like looking for who she is. That's such a more important message than like, what is the message in a Marvel movie? Like Thanos snaps and kills everyone. What's the message? Like we have to save the world. Like there's no message there. It's not like a genuine, like heartfelt movie that anybody actually cares about what happens. They're just like, I want to see the action. I want the heroes to survive. And like Robert Downey Jr. the other day was like talking about how he'd be happy to return as Iron Man. Like at this point, it's such a money grab to have him come back as Iron Man. You know what I mean? Just lame. It's just lame.
He's dead. How could you?
That's what I'm saying. It's just lame.
I mean,
like Wolverine is coming back, and I'm excited for that because I do really like the X-Men movies and Deadpool. Like it'll be fun to see it, nostalgia, all that, because I watched the X-Men stuff growing up. But Hugh Jackman's been Wolverine for so long now. He killed the character off, and now he's back. You know what I mean?
The only one that I was about to use Wolverine as an example, the one that has like the most humanity, I think, is
Logan.
Logan.
Logan's a good movie.
So raw.
Yes, exactly. It had more humanity to it. It was really exploring the whole like aging process, loneliness, because he's like out aging everyone he knows and stuff. He has that. There's that whole like daughter characteristic thing to it. Like the I don't know what you call that because it wasn't like necessarily actually his daughter, right? But yeah, there was more humanity to that movie. That's what I'm saying. People are like asking for that. I feel like with giving Poor Things all the awards it got. What's another movie we were talking about that felt more like that?
Oh man, I think the movie we watched Zac Efron for sure.
Oh God, the Iron Claw.
I keep wanting to say The Wrestler, but The Wrestler was also
and that's
full
another
of
great
humanity.
movie, and that's another great movie that shows just like the rawness of something that you don't really realize is like that.
He's an addict in so many ways.
That's a great movie. Yeah, he's a huge addict, and like it's sad. It's a sad movie. It's a touching movie. He has that like. He has like a big relationship issue with his daughter in that one too, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. We should watch it. I actually own it, so we should watch it. It's a good movie.
And,
Mickey Rourke.
And it's fun because you can have these movies that are kind of like independent, whatever you call it, but they're less commercial, but still have big actors that do well.
Oh yeah, big time. Like Emma Stone, dude.
Emma Stone's a huge actor.
Willem Dafoe.
Yep.
Raimi Youssef.
Yeah, exactly.
Mark Ruffalo. He went from Marvel to these independents. I mean, he used to do independents too, of course, but he's still doing them. He's still willing to do them, which is awesome.
Yep. That was really cool. So, yeah, if anything, maybe follow Logan's lead and take those films into a deeper, more humanistic place.
I'm wondering how Deadpool is going to play on the whole fact that Logan exists. You know what I mean? Because it's such a different type of movie.
I mean, they're definitely doing a lot with the multiverse.
But what I'm saying is like the last appearance that Wolverine made was in Logan. How are they going to address that? Because Deadpool's like a comedy first and foremost, in my opinion. That's what I like about it, is that it doesn't take itself as seriously as the Marvel movies either. Yeah, there's some like little quick, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, some quips and stuff in Marvel movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, but Deadpool's a straight up comedy. Like there's no way around it. That movie's hilarious. He's like a stand-up comic.
And he's recognizing how cheesy Marvel is too. Like
yeah, every straight up points it out. That's another reason I really like those.
Yeah,
he's
very
always
meta.
Talking trash on them.
Yeah. That is interesting. I think Deadpool has some humanity to it too, like the part
the whole cancer thing. And everything. Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of pain he's going through
with the girlfriend too. What's her name? Vanessa, right?
Oh, you have better memory than I do.
I think so. Stuff. I actually read some of the Deadpool comics. The only comics I've ever read are Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Deadpool. I think those are like the three. Not Wolverine specifically, like X-Men.
All the Marvel movies do have. That's cool. I'm glad I've never actually read comics, but all of the Marvel movies do have like some kind of underlying theme of loss. But
that's true.
Predictable.
It is very predictable. It's very formulaic once again.
Yeah,
I keep saying about that.
Like they lose family members. Someone's lost a family member, but like it's.
Moving away from this theme.
Yeah.
You know what? What's something really dumb that I watched last night, which was entertaining, and I think you would enjoy.
It's a movie.
Yeah. John Cena. I love John Cena. I'm just going to say that. Because I know you do too.
Did you watch Clockbuckers 2?
No, Vacation Friends 2.
I mean, that's what I meant.
Yeah, Vacation Friends 2.
He was in another movie called Cockblockers, right?
Cockblockers, yeah.
Was it good?
So Vacation Friends 2 was worse than the first one, but it was entertaining. The characters were back. They were the same characters. So that's always cool to see a continuation of their story. I'm going to say it's safe to say that they're not going to get a third movie. just because the first one was so much better than the second one, and it wasn't even that great of a movie to begin
Okay.
with. But Steve Buscemi's in it, which I love. Steve
Really?
Buscemi. Yep. He plays like his father-in-law
I was
who hates him, and like seconds before he meets him, spoiler alert, John Cena's telling the other main character, he's like, everybody I've ever met in my whole life loves me. And he's like, no way. And he's like, yeah, every single person. And his wife is like, yep, everybody loves him. And then he meets Steve Buscemi like 10 minutes later and he hates him. So that's just like the start of that movie. But
That's
anyways,
funny. I've never seen
good.
Steve Buscemi in that kind of role.
Really? He's in a bunch of Adam Sandler movies. He's in Grown Ups.
Well, no, I know he's in like those movies, but I've never seen him in a dad role.
He's like an old guy now. That's why, Evan.
I mean, it makes sense.
He's old. He's like really old. Like he looks like he's close to 70. in
He's
this movie.
usually the, I feel like the,
But what you got to realize about this role is he's playing a guy. So you don't find this out till the end. Do you care if I spoil it, or are you gonna watch it? If
Wait,
you're gonna
I'm
watch
gonna
it, I'm
watch
not
it.
gonna.
I'm gonna watch it.
Okay, but he's playing like a scumbag dad. Like he's not a good parent at all.
oh, okay.
Like at all. Like he's a
Rough.
scumbag of a person.
rough cast.
He tells you immediately. He's like, I just got out of jail.
Oh.
So that's how he's introduced to you.
Got it.
But you'll see the twist with that later. It's so fun.
What's it on?
It's on Hulu. It's a Hulu movie.
I'm gonna watch.
Which I love when these streaming services have these like movies you can just access quickly.
I still don't understand how they make money though.
Ads. Because I watched ads to watch. I don't pay for the free Hulu.
But Netflix doesn't have ads.
Not yet. But the thing is, their subscription is so expensive. You're literally paying them. What are you paying them for? To produce content.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To produce content, to bring you content, you're paying them. And it keeps going up. Their subscription price keeps going up.
But like, what about the movies that weren't made through Netflix? Like, what?
So you pay them, and then they pay them a fee, and then so they pay the studio a fee. So you pay them like $20 a month, right? And then let's say like $2 or $3. I'm just saying random numbers.
Oh, like
$2 or
a
$3 will
percentage.
go to the studio. You know what I
people
mean?
are paying it.
And they
Yeah.
sign these deals and stuff, and that's why the movies switch out so often, because they pay for a certain amount of run time, I guess, kind of like a theater.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm speculating.
I still think the $20 a month like movie deal, like unlimited movie
It's
deals
good.
are good. in
I
movies.
agree with you, but we haven't gone to see anything in like over a month.
We should.
We should, but I'm not interested in anything right now. Are you?
No.
See, that's when it gets you. Is there's like a few months of the year where I'm just like kind of bored. Right now, do you know why we're bored? Remember when we wanted to see everything in theaters? We're bored right now because award season's over. No one wants to release their stuff right now to not get recognition.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. And then summer's going to come right now. There's going to be a bunch of blockbusters. So that's going to be stuff like Fast and the Furious, that type of stuff. And then after summer, we're going to start getting the awards movies.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really excited for the new King Kong movie.
I mean, I haven't seen any since like the Peter Jackson one.
You haven't seen? You never saw Kong versus Godzilla?
No.
That was sick, dude. You
I'm
kidding
sure
me?
it's like a cool popcorn movie, but like I've said it before, I'm not like immediately interested in them. But you brought up watching, which one was it that you brought up the other day? Yesterday, you asked me about one. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, literally, I can't.
But anyways, I'm interested. I'll watch it with you, but I'm not gonna go seek it out.
Was it Kong?
I think so. Whatever the one that's out right now is. See, I don't even know which one's out right now.
No. Never.
But I heard Godzilla. What is it? The one that's out right now? Godzilla -1 or something?
Oh,
I heard that's amazing.
Is it? It's out right now.
Or it came out recently. It was like it was big right before the Oscars. Anyways, I heard
This
that
is
one's
where
amazing.
Godzilla and Kong team up, bro.
So that's a different one. There's so much of these like monster movies right now that I'm kind of lost. Because even Apple has something. You brought that up to my attention.
Did I?
Apple has like a Godzilla movie or show or something.
Oh,
right?
they have a show.
Yeah, that's right. See, that's what I'm saying. There's so
and
many.
That's
I'm
like a Japanese film, or not? No, it's Japanese.
confused. The one that's in theaters is Japanese. And then the one on Apple, I
show
don't
is
know
not.
anything about it. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, I don't.
But that's
know.
what I'm saying. I'm so confused because there's so much going on with
Well, now
that
I'm
concept right
confused.
now. I'm wondering, there has to be some kind of weird copyright thing going on with it right now because so much of it is getting released all at once. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like when Winnie the Pooh went into the public domain and then they made the horror movie right away. Same thing with Mickey Mouse. It went
That's
to the public
right.
domain. They made the horror movie.
Very weird.
A horror video game too.
How do you just get released into the public domain? Like,
It's like a certain amount of years. It's like 100 years or something of like copyright, and then it expires. Like the movie Reefer Madness is public domain. You can just like put that in anything. In one of my short films that I was producing, I wanted to have Reefer Madness playing in the background, and I just totally spaced out on doing it when I was editing the thing because I was all stressed out about it. But
Oh, is that the one where with the TV?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the TV is just blank in the background, but I wanted to have Reefer Madness playing on it because that's just a fun movie.
Oh, that's
have you seen it?
You're short? Yeah.
No, Reefer Madness.
Oh, no.
So it's like this anti-weed propaganda movie from like the 1910s or 1920s. It's hilarious. Like people smoke weed and they jump off buildings and stuff. And so they were like, the whole message behind this movie was like, don't smoke weed or you're gonna go insane and kill yourself.
Dude, I want to watch that.
It's a hilarious movie. Like it's so funny.
Is it meant to be?
It was meant to be a serious like warning against weed back in
Wow.
the early 20th century. And it's just so comedic.
Wait, when was it made?
The early 1900s. I forget exactly. Here, I'll look it up. 1920s.
Weed existed that long? People
Yeah.
knew about weed,
And it's a super racist movie too. They're like, you're like only people of a certain race do this.
No way.
But yeah, it's like a cult film now because of how hilarious it is. 1936. Ooh, it's on Tubi. We should watch it.
Tubi.
Let's watch that next,
Reefer Madness.
and then have some real dank beers with it. Some real weedy beers.
Oh, there you go. Man, that's funny.
That's a good one, and you don't have to take it too serious, so we can just watch it like in passing.
Okay. Did you ever watch Super Size Me? Mm-hmm. He also does a Super High Me.
I was about to ask you if you ever seen Super High Me. Yes,
Yeah,
dude. Doug, what's his name? Doug.
Same dude.
I forget his name. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's
Doug
funny.
something. Doug Benson.
You're just the fact that you know that's crazy. Like I can't remember. I would never have remembered his name.
He was in some TV show at one time that I watched. And I can't remember, and he played himself, but I don't remember what the
Was it
TV
after
show.
those movies?
Yeah. He was like a big deal at this point.
Because of those movies,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I like documentaries like that a lot. I watched one about steroids. It was called like Bigger, Faster, Stronger.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of that?
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yep. Documentaries like that are fun. I mean,
Have you seen the Ronnie Coleman documentary? That's a good one.
no.
That one's interesting. It's sad because you see the juxtaposition of him being the world's strongest bodybuilder ever to him being in this like wheelchair / crutches. Sad documentary.
Did he talk in it? Or
Oh
was
yeah,
it-
yeah. It's like all based off him. The whole thing is just interviews with him. It's super cool to see because he gets really open about it. But did you know that to this day, he claims that squatting the 800 pounds isn't what put him in the wheelchair situation. He said a bad surgery put him in that situation. He said he didn't have an issue with walking and pain until he went to go get one of his herniated discs fixed. And he said the surgeon just screwed his whole life up. He says it's not due to heavy lifting because he says other bodybuilders have done it and no one's in as bad as shape as he is.
Wow. Did he sue them?
I think he said he got into some situations with it, but he didn't clearly mention it. And that was in a different podcast that he went into detail about that situation.
I don't know how you can like experience that and not still be like out.
He said he distanced himself. This beer's hitting, dude.
Yeah,
He said he
dude.
distances himself from negative thoughts, which I'm like, dude, you're like in a wheelchair at like age like 50. Like, how are you not negative at all? But he's the most positive person ever. I've listened to 1 million podcasts with him, and he is the most positive person in the world. And it's just like he's suffering all day. In the documentary, the guy asks him on a scale of like 1 to 10, how much pain are you in all the time? And he said 12. Like, how are you just not the most negative person in the world experiencing that level of pain all day?
Maybe he smokes weed.
That's possible because he looks pretty blasted in some interviews.
If I was in pain, that's okay. I would gladly. I know weed messes up your brain, but like, it helps your body. If it helps your body, I would do it.
You know somebody else who's in like immense pain like that? I think I mentioned it on this show before too. Is Hulk Hogan. He's had a ton of back
Really?
surgery. I told you he lost like 5 inches of height because he
right.
had to have his back all fused together.
Wow, that's crazy.
That was a massive man too. I think when you get to a certain weight, the human body can't handle it. Because like, for the listener and the viewer out there, if you look up Ronnie Coleman at his peak, that is not a human body. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen it.
Yeah.
You've seen those physiques. It looks like an alien.
Yeah.
So I think at a certain point, you just can't handle that anymore either.
Yeah.
Because Hulk Hogan was like 260 at one point. Just a big
He was
man.
bigger than The Rock.
Yeah. Oh, way bigger than The Rock. The Rock's
Yeah.
not that big, like relative.
I mean,
to other
Rock's
people.
like 6'5", but he was like, I think Hulk Hogan was 6'6" or 6'7".
Yeah, he's huge. He's a huge person.
5 inches though. That's crazy to think about, man. Like, wow. But yeah, dude. You know, it'd be fun to watch. You watched WrestleMania, yeah?
Oh, dude, it was such a blast. It was
Was
so
it good?
stupid. It was outrageously
Did Logan
stupid.
Paul make an appearance?
Logan Paul, dude, that was the best part of the night, honestly. So the main fight and the Logan Paul fight were the best. So Logan Paul comes out in his big prime truck, spraying prime everywhere, gets out on the stage. He's like losing. He's getting his butt whooped, right? And then he somehow pulls together the victory because he's the WWE's golden boy right now, of course. But throughout this event,
Oh, I didn't know that.
he's going against like Randy Orton.
Logan Paul is?
Yes. And so he's like out of commission in the corner somewhere because you know how WWE is. He gets thrown off. He's like knocked out somewhere in the corner.
Yeah.
And then the Prime mascot.
Is KSI again?
No. So the Prime mascot pulls Logan out of the ring while he's down, whips off the mask, and it's I Show Speed, which is another YouTuber similar to KSI. It's like another soccer guy who's like really popular for like videos with Ronaldo and stuff. But he's like, he like pushes Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton just like Sparta kicks him in the chest, drops him down, RKO's him.
Yeah.
And it's just outrageous. It's just so outrageous.
Did you see
it's a skinny little dude.
Well, did you also see how silly it looked when who was the guy that was fighting or wrestling with against The Rock and
The Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. So what's that white dude's name?
Oh my God, Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes. Did you see that?
He won.
I know he won, but did you see the kick, that like meme? Well, it's not even a meme.
I didn't see that.
It's just like kind of it went everywhere, viral. It's a picture or a slow-mo video. You'll either see a picture or a slow-mo video online of him going for the kick, right? And it's so obvious. Like he's like 3 feet away from The Rock, and The Rock pretends to like back up.
Oh, I missed this. So what happened to me was when I was watching it, by that last fight, I was like into something else. I was busy and it was on the background. I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah, well, no, but when you watch it like full speed, it looks normal.
Oh, okay.
It's like a normal, wrestler's choreograph, whatever. Choreography. But when you slow mo it, it's been only when you make it slow mo do you realize like how crazy obvious the gap was.
Yeah,
I mean it doesn't matter.
You know what's crazy though is like people talk so much crap on the fact that wrestling's fake. Whatever, it's fake. Do you know how much talent it takes to fake that? Mm-hmm. The choreography is like 100%, insane.
100%.
Because I was
100%.
We were both. I texted you yesterday to listen to the Impulsive episode with John Cena.
Good episode,
dude. It is a good episode. But they talk at one point about how like John Cena messed something up, and him and what was the other
with The
guy?
Rock?
No, John Cena and Batista. They messed something up and they both fell.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah. So they both like fell, and so like John Cena admits it was his mistake, but that messed up the whole thing, and everything was on the fly after that because they messed up the choreography. And then Vic McMahon, what's his name? McMahon. What's his name?
Vince
McMahon came out. I said Vic. Vince McMahon came out, and he had to like give them some like improv stuff to do because they screwed it all up. And then he came out to fix it, and he pulled his quad getting into the ring, and so he also screwed up. And so Can
you watch this online?
I don't know. I'm not sure what event this is from. They mentioned it in the podcast clip, but I was just like so entertained because I love wrestling. I always have since I was a kid, and to me it was just so interesting to hear that it's fake, but stuff happens and messes it up, and you got to roll with the punches.
No, it is the most. I think there's no more pressure on. I mean, I can't imagine that kind of pressure because you're not just acting. It's not acting. You are doing everything.
It's a performance.
It's a performance.
But it's also so violent. Like, imagine Randy Orton RKOing you even if it's fake. That's got to hurt.
100%. And the way they throw them on the tables?
Yes, dude. And that guy, I Show Speed, who showed up, he got RKO'd onto that table. The table didn't break. Imagine just taking the full force of that table.
No way.
Yeah, and not being a professional wrestler, like that's just some random YouTuber, and he's small. Like I think he's smaller than me and you.
Wow,
he's not a big dude, but yeah. So like to me, professional wrestling, I don't care. And you hear this in the Iron Claw, like you still have to be good to win championships. When Zac Efron is on that first date with who becomes his eventual wife, in the movie, she's like, "It's fake, right?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fake, but at the same time, it's not because." You have to be good at what you do to sell it. Mm-hmm. Like you can't just like go up there and la-di-da around the stage. What's happening is a performance, and it's a good performance.
Yep.
Like you are an actor. Like it makes sense that The Rock is one of the highest paid actors in the world now. John Cena is making this venture into Hollywood as well. They're they're good at what they do, which is acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super entertaining. If you don't watch WWE, you should. It's just a blast.
No, I agree.
Snoop Dogg was commentating one of the fights, dude, or a couple of them. It was hilarious. So stupid.
That's sick. He's known for his commentating skills.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that until very recently.
Was it good?
It was good. He was just like, oh my God, they got the picnic tables out.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Yo, when Undertaker came out though,
You saw him chokeslam The Rock?
that was a
Jesus Christ,
sick
dude.
ending, dude.
Dude, did you see what shoes he was wearing when he chokeslammed The Rock?
No.
Hokas.
For real?
He chokeslammed The Rock in some Hokas.
Was that like a joke? Did people make a meme out of that or something?
It was a meme, yeah. I saw it because it was just like funny. Like he's just an old dude at this point.
Yeah, that's true. But it's funny because he's bigger than The Rock.
So
I mean,
as
taller.
a kid, I had a action figure set. It was a ring, a WWE ring, and I had two wrestlers. I had The Undertaker, and guess who else I had? He came out that night.
It's got to be John Cena.
It wasn't, unfortunately. I wish it was.
He came out that night.
I was just talking about him.
I mean, I didn't see the whole thing, but you were just talking about him.
I just talked about him.
Vince McMahon.
Randy
Randy Orton.
Oh no,
Randy, I forget.
I unplugged myself.
What?
I have to find my plug.
Oh, okay. I'll keep talking. Dude, Randy Orton. I can't tell who came first, Randy Orton or John Cena. Are they the same era?
I think they're around the same time.
Because those two I've always associated with each other.
Me too. I think what it was when I did get the Randy Orton figure was that there wasn't a John Cena available or something at the store
Okay.
I went to when I was a kid.
That's
But yeah,
fair.
So I had the Undertaker, I had Randy Orton, and I had a big ring.
But what's funny is Undertaker was way before
Oh yeah, he's old. He's an
Randy
old
Orton.
dude. Old
But
dude.
yeah.
But they were wrestling at the same time when I was like
I get
watching
no,
it.
totally. And you had a Big Show. You had
Big Show. I forgot about Big Show.
Man, remember
He was cool.
Carlos? Let's talk wrestling for a little bit, man. Let's go down this round. So
WWE.
Carlos, he was SmackDown, but he
Yes.
spit the apple out.
Yes.
He was my favorite freak in it.
Ray Mysterio, dude, was around
And
that
now
time
his
too.
son's out.
Yep.
Ray Mysterio is so cool. He's still crushing it, dude.
Yeah, I
and he's
know.
from San Diego. He's
This stuff is
representing.
crazy. This stuff is so much fun.
Man, when Triple H and Shawn
H.
Michaels and man, it was the three.
I know. I can't remember the other dude's name.
Shoot, it was the other dude's name
Triple H was the biggest one by far.
for sure.
And now he's like the whole head of the
He's the CEO.
WWE. Yep. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's cool seeing someone who clearly loved the business so much
Yeah.
just be in charge of it now.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Yeah, he
And then-
was so good.
So what's going on with Vince McMahon? He's gone, huh? Out.
Is he?
Yeah, because of the whole sexual assault thing or whatever.
Oh,
it
I
was.
don't even
One of
know.
those bad situations.
Is his son or daughter?
I think
in
it's
the
his
picture?
daughter because his daughter came out like right at the beginning of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think it's his daughter, Stephanie McMahon. Is that his daughter? I forget her connection.
Which is funny because Ric Flair's daughter's
Dude, I started
Wrestling now.
watching the Nature Boy documentary.
dude. I heard it's good.
I
Is
like
he
it.
good?
I like it.
He's
I
in
love
it a lot, huh?
Yes, he's like, so it starts with them just interviewing him. It's just him talking
Yeah.
and going over his life. I've only seen about half of it. It's so good. I like it. I forgot how much I liked wrestling until very recently.
Dude, I'm down on watching wrestling with you, bro.
Yeah, we have to
We'll
do
go
it.
down-
I'm having a blast with
Let's
it.
do Monday Night Raw, bro.
Let's do it, dude. All right. On that note, I say we should just remind the audience to beer.
Happy.
All right. Peace, everybody.
Later. We really got into some wrestling there.
That's crazy.
That was funny.